she doesn't feel she has the ability to control the outcome, then she won't put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when she, it's just like when she did all that board meeting that night when she had to vote. She knew she was the only one that had the board manipulated to vote with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't determine the outcome of votes, and she didn't want to play it, and she quit. Yeah. So I think just adding members, I think that adds more to the return, through the rest of the year. I don't foresee her putting down the defeated. And the flip side is, I don't know if she can know all this, but no, she might. But if it's defeated, you can't represent it after 12 months. Right? In other words, you can't put it out there, have it voted on, have it defeated, and then make some changes and put it out there.
Oh crap! I got it to work. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I have you on. I don't have you. I think I got it to work. I had to create an event inside of the studio of the Stage 10 software, and then it like recognized it, and it does appear that we are live. Yeah, they see us. Let me, so I think I can add you pretty easily. I'm pretty sure I can.
I'm not quite ready.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I just came back inside.
Hello, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to. Okay, so I mean, it's up to you if you want to try. That would be nice because we are on now. Yeah. So I can delete my. I basically created a 3-screen thing like before, but one of mine is my own screen, so it's like me double. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
This is really unreal. Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? Okay, let me feed through.
Okay.
This repeat.
Okay, can you hear me?
Wasn't that interesting? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't believe the struggle today. The struggle is real. So can you guys hear us, first of all? The volume I can't hear, which I totally don't mind. Nope.
Okay, let me see. I have to. Okay, are you gonna try to feed Jimmy in, or are we gonna do something different tonight?
I mean, I guess if he's gonna get on, then we can. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay, good. Okay, people are saying they can hear us. We see 2 Rachels.
We've been in the struggle tonight.
Yeah, so first of all, I need to know, can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, good. Okay. The reason that I had to have myself on 2 screens is because we're trying to figure out the software was being super weird. And so in order to be able to add him in, in order to be able to start the stream with 3 screens, you have to actually have 3 active screens. So I had to add myself as 2 screens. So I'm going to remove one of them. Oh, this better work. I swear to God, this better work. Of course not. Oh, please.
Oh, well, you're stuck on there twice.
Okay.
You get it.
All right, I have him on.
Look, it worked. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can, yes.
It's finally working. Right, Jesus, thank God.
How about that?
Thank God. It's been a struggle.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, okay. I feel so much better. I can cry. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Jaeger, we've been using it stage 10. We will no longer be using stage 10. Because this is just ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Everybody, thank you for your patience. We've had a really hard time getting this software up and running. We are here with Jimmy. Is it Stancio? Stancio? How do you
Stancio.
pronounce it?
Jimmy
Okay.
Stancio.
Yes.
Stancio. So, Jimmy is an AKC judge and longtime breeder of Cane Corso. And he's going to be here talking to us about the breed and about the breed club and his history, as well as just, in general, we're just trying to work together to educate people so that we can maintain a barrier between the breed and people that may want to change the breed, and just educate people on that process, and also the process of how breeds get changed in the first place. So with that out of the way, Jimmy, please take it away.
All right. Well, I'm happy to be here and help the breed and help people to better understand the breed and the inner workings of the breed through AKC and the AKC Parent Club. Of course, I was on here a few weeks ago and I got a lot of great feedback. I got a lot of great feedback on what we presented, from the clubs to hips, to colors of the breed, to temperament. We covered a lot last time. You guys told me it was going to be about an hour, and it wound up being about 2. Time flew, and I think we covered a lot of material last time. But I was going to come back on here and go back over it. The biggest thing right now, of course, like we had talked about, is for people to become involved, and the best way to become involved is to be a member of the AKC Parent Club, the Cane Corso Association of America. For a long time, that club has had a very small membership, and everything is membership driven. Everything that goes on with the club, and then eventually with the breed in AKC, is determined by the makeup of the membership. And unfortunately, the makeup of the membership has been manipulated for a very long time by a few people that tend to want to be in control of everything pertaining to the breed. Control freaks, narcissists, actually. One long time one. So in any event, the club right now only has about 300 members. So obviously you can do the math, and with 300 members, if somebody adds 50 puppy buyers and tells them how to vote, they pretty much control everything, and that's the way it's been for a long time. So we need to change that. We need to fix that, especially with the big AKC breed standard revisions that have been a big debate for a little over a year now. The AKC standard is a good standard the way it is. It does have some contradictions and some things that need to be clarified. So there is definitely need for revisions. Some things need to be taken out. Some things need to be added, and what have you. But that needs to be done by not a set or selected group of people. It needs to be done by the community, and the best way to be sure that it's done in a proper fashion is for everyone that cares about the breed and the future of the breed in the AKC to join the club and get involved and vote.
Exactly. So one of the things that I saw, we have oh, hold on. Did his audio go out? Jimmy, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, yes.
Oh, okay, there it is. It's back. Okay. So one of the things that I noticed is you posted a the original breed standard, the NC standard. And one of the things that I noticed is that that particular standard really is different from the American standard. I'm wondering how that process took place. Why didn't we adopt that original standard?
Well, the history of the breed in the United States and the history of the breed in Italy during similar time periods was quite different in direction. Um, the standard that I posted is the original Italian Kennel Club standard, uh, and it's a quite technical, quite detailed breed standard based on the dogs that were used in the recovery programs, specifically by Fernando Casalino and Stefano Gandolfi, with help from Vito Endeavori and Peppino Agrigliano and others. But in any event, to really answer the question, um, of course, we all know of Beza, right? Fernando Casalino's dog, which is the prototype for the breed. So that dog was born in 1980. Okay, and we didn't get Cane Corso, start seeing Cane Corsos here until the early 90s. And when they first arrived here from Mickey Satilli, they were quite different than the dogs that were being selected for the recovery in Italy. The original Cane Corsos here that Satilli had, because he was also a Neapolitan Mastiff breeder. The original Cane Corsos, he didn't even call Cane Corso initially. He called them Sicilian Brancario, another name for a Mastiff type breed from Italy. And after a couple of years, when he seen what was going on in Italy with a movement to recover the Cane Corso and make it an official Italian breed, he changed the name from Sicilian Brancario to Cane Corso. So the original dogs that he had here and we had for a long time had a standard that he wrote based on those dogs, and those dogs were different, specifically in head type, than the Italian dogs. The dogs here were mesocephalic in head type characteristics versus a brachycephalic breed like the Cane Corso. Most notably, the original American standard called for parallel planes versus converging planes of the skull and muzzle in the Italian standard. It also called for only a scissor bite versus the slight undershot bite of the Italian standard. So it was a quite different head type for sure in the original American dogs. And that standard was in place, in effect, and used by all of us, myself including, until 2000. And then some changes were made in 2000, bringing a little bit more in line with the Italian standard. So a lot of that stuff has kind of continued to stick with us, per se, as we move through AKC. A lot of people wouldn't relinquish or let go of the some of those original American type dog characteristics. And something else is very, very noteworthy in that is that the original American standard also had a color listed or specified of black and tan points and blue and tan points, just like the Rottweiler. And everyone that knows the breed and the breed's history here in the United States knows that a lot of Rottweiler was used mixed in with those original American dogs. And that's why we had black and tan and blue and tan pointed dogs, and it was part of the standard, and we still see that pop up, especially those that continue to use those lines, those older American lines with the Rottweiler influence, and that's when you'll see the black and tan, the blue and tans pop up. So that's probably the biggest reason that the American standard today, although way better and closer to the Italian standard for the breed, still has some differences.
Right. So do you think that we should move closer to the European standard?
The Cane Corso is an Italian breed. So to have a standard that would make the dog different in the United States than what it is from its country of origin, Italy, would be absurd. It's an Italian breed, first and foremost. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what my opinion is or what anyone else's opinion is, even if that person's opinion or that person who has an opinion that the breed should be different has the ability to change it through the AKC parent club and ultimately through the AKC. That should never happen. That's just absurd.
Right.
And I've had that argument over the years with a lot of people that they want to say, well, the breed was like this, the breed was like that, the breed did have a scissor bite, the breed was mesocephalic, the breed's not brachycephalic, and on and on and on. And the bottom line is, if you don't like what the breed standard of the country of origin states for that breed, then do something else. I mean,
Right.
the Sicilian Brancaro was here at one time. If you like that style of a dog better than what the Cane Corso Italian standard is, then heck, try and recover the Sicilian Brancaro and breed that and call it the Sicilian Brancaro. But don't call it the Cane Corso, because it's not. There's one standard for the Cane Corso, and the AKC standard can be slightly different. It could probably allow for a little bit more diversity in certain areas, and there's nothing wrong with that. The verbiage can't be the same. I mean, you can't take an Italian standard and just use it verbatim in AKC. Some of the things
Why is that?
Won't interchange. Some of the things terminology-wise won't interchange. The Italian standard, for instance, uses a lot of numerical references, right? A lot of percentages, a lot of angles, things of that nature. Very, very detailed, and that's not typical of an AKC standard or what an AKC judge is used to reading and having to apply. For instance, I've had this conversation over a couple of things. Take for instance, the aspect that the Cane Corso is a rectangular breed, right? So the Italian standard says 11% longer than the height of the withers. So it's easy to say, well, 11%, I mean, why not just say 10%? But by using that number, 11%, and that's 1%, obviously more than 10%, which you couldn't tell with the eye. But what that translates or what that conveys to someone that's familiar with Italian standards or FCI standards is that the breed should be noticeably rectangular, but it shouldn't be excessive. And all that's stated by using 11%, right, versus 10%, which would basically be an off-square dog. So in our standard, in the AKC standard, we definitely have a rectangular breed. It should be a rectangular breed, and we say 10%. The AKC won't allow 11%. It won't. It'll only allow you to use numbers that are more even. In other words, 5%, 10%, 15%, 9 and 10, things of that nature. Right? They won't allow an odd number, 11, 12, 13%, something of that nature. They won't allow. So rather than simply state 11% like the Italian standard does, the AKC standard, more emphasis has to be put on the fact that the breed should be, for instance, and here's a great example, noticeably rectangular, but not excessive. Things of that nature. The way you explain the breed or describe the breed is going to be slightly different from an Italian standard to an AKC standard, an AKC format.
So it shouldn't.
So
it's not that the standards should be different. They should describe the same dog. It's just that the verbiage has to be different. So it shouldn't technically be a different standard as per a different dog.
No. At the end of the day, both standards should describe the same basic dog. Okay?
Right. Perfect.
But they will just do it in different manners, different verbiage. Another example would be the muzzle. We all know that the original Italian standard called for a muzzle that was 34% of the total length of the head, right? So 1/3 obviously is 33.3%. So again, why do we have 34% in the Italian standard versus just saying a third, right? And actually, the FCI, when they took the Italian standard, changed it to a third, and I know Fernando Castellino and Stefano Gandolfi were not happy with that. For the very reason that again, that 1% difference, or not even quite that 1% difference, but the 34% aspect conveyed that the muzzle should be short. It should almost be a third, but slightly longer. So that would be a good way to take the 34% that's in the Italian standard and convey it into an AKC standard, would be along those lines, something along the lines of the muzzle should be just slightly longer than a third, but never shorter, because it shouldn't be shorter. You can start getting into a hyper-type dog. And it really shouldn't be any longer than 34%, because then you start getting away from the brachycephalic characteristics, which are the breed-specific characteristics of the head of the Cane Corso.
Correct. That's very interesting. I like that. I myself, I had considered because I don't feel that we have very good illustrations for the breed. We have some, don't get me wrong, but I always wondered what it would be like if we used somebody that's really good at measurements, like an illustrator that could actually put that into reality, not just somebody's idealistic image like I posted on Instagram to kind of advertise this stream, but to actually really show what those mean. Because I've heard a lot of people, and I think this is true of a lot of breeders, are visual people. And so they get lost in a written standard. And it's much easier for them to go off of an image. I've always liked, I have on my phone, whenever I talk to people, sometimes I'll talk with Americans and, they'll tell me they like a certain breeder's dogs. And I'll be like, well, those, I'll basically let them know, those lack breed type. And when they'll say, well, it's a nice looking dog, and it may very well be a nice looking dog, but it's not a Corso. And I will show them on my phone a bunch of old pictures of Corso that I have saved, that while there may even still be some variation, they are Corso. And that's one of the things that I think is really special about our breed, is that there is a definite breed type, and they look nothing like anything else. A lot of the American stuff looks like a XL bully dog, or it looks like a Rottweiler, or it looks like a Neo, or it looks like a band dog. But the true Cane Corso looks like nothing but a Cane Corso. And I think that it would even be beneficial if we had kind of a page of historical dogs that have been selected based upon their adherence to correct breed type, because I think that people need a visual on top of just a written standard.
Yeah.
Yes, the obviously visuals, pictures of correct dogs, and that's the key is a correct Cane Corso. When I do judges education seminars, I have lots of pictures of correct dogs, but in those pictures, the spectrum of the breed type is shown, not
Yes.
everything to one end of the spectrum, right? And that's the thing with illustrations. And illustrated standard is a great thing. It's a necessity. Of course, you have to have a standard that's worthy of doing the illustrations on, right? I mean, right now, the standard that we have was thrown into AKC. Its faults came out very quickly. Some of the faults of the current AKC standard are just that, the DQs. Yellow bird of prey eyes, undershot more than 1/4 of an inch. Those things have been very, very, very troublesome for our breed. So you have to have a standard that's worthy of doing the illustrations on, and then obviously have the illustrations as close to the ideal dog, which is the written standard per se, as possible. But the important thing to remember, you've seen where I posted the original Morsani standard.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's in the non-official CCA members page, a Facebook group. It's a private group. I encourage everybody to come join it. There's going to be a lot more information, good information being put in there, factual information I'll be placing in there. But in any event, I also placed some illustrations in there showing correct, incorrect, not just correct, but incorrectness in the illustrations, mostly on head type, but one was of the whole dog. And the important thing when you have an illustration, even if it's just the illustrated standard and there's just one dog illustration, the important thing to do is to, although I understand that people want to visualize and see a dog, and this is what the dog looks like, the important thing to remember, though, is not to get that picture just stuck in your head as the dog, right? Because within all breeds, within all litters, right, within litter mates, there's diversity.
Right.
But yet the dog can still be correct. Okay.
Right.
The dogs. It's like when I judge. If I place dogs first, second, third, fourth, doesn't necessarily mean that the fourth place dog's an incorrect dog. It can still fit the standard, right? So that the first place dog fit the standard better than, say, the other three.
Right.
So the important thing when you're looking at illustrations is to use the illustrations as a reference, right, of what this stop angle should be, of what the correct convergence or the converging plane should be. But even within that, there's going to be some there's going to be some wiggle room, some diversity. You're not going to get dog at the dog at the dog that's going to be identical. So you don't want to obviously have something that doesn't resemble the illustration. That would be extremely incorrect, right? But just to remember that the illustration doesn't have to be exactly like that illustration to be correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Actually, in a discussion I was having on the group, the non-official CCA members discussion page, I was using an example for stop angle. The stop angle should be 105 degrees. That's what it says in the Morsani standard. And basically, again, we would take that and put it into an AKC standard. We wouldn't use 105 degrees because AKC judges don't look for angles and things of that nature, numerical values very often in an AKC standard. So a way to convey that would be that the stop should be slightly less than vertical. A vertical stop, of course, is a heavy brachycephalic characteristic, and the Connie Corso shouldn't have a vertical or 90-degree stop, right? Your more heavy brachycephalic breeds, boxers, and what have you, will have that pronounced 90-degree stop. The Connie Corso slightly lays back at 105 degrees. So if I'm judging and I'm looking at what's in front of me, and say out of 10 dogs, 5 of them have correct stops and 5 of them doesn't. It doesn't mean that the 5 that I feel have correct stops, if we were to measure that stop, would be exactly 105 degrees.
Okay, I think we lost him.
Yeah, I noticed that his screen was glitching.
Yeah. It's been a hard night. Please just hang in there with us.
Yeah, I may need to add him back.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, on that note, while we're getting him back, I will say that I personally, there's a really great interview with Mariano De Chico. And he's a very famous breeder by the name or by the kennel name of Della Porta de Pinta. And he talks about the fact that every breeder should have minimum 4 different types of Corso in their program to be able to breed the best dogs. Because if you have all, shorter muzzle dogs, then your muzzles can get too short. If you have all longer muzzle dogs, then your muzzles will run away on you. And overall, it's not beneficial to just do one thing. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get him back.
Okay.
What's going on here? You gonna work? Open in Messenger. So anyway, I wonder what happened. Okay, I'm not interested in
I
your
don't know. Did
changes.
his device? Hopefully it
Oh,
didn't
he's writing
die.
me.
Okay.
Savannah, can you put the puppies outside, please? All right, let's see what happens. I think he's going to join back.
There are people that will always breed mutts. Like the whole Merrill thing, it'll never be anything but a mutt. They'll never add that to the standard. You can't show it. It's not considered cunning course. It's just a mutt.
Mm-hmm.
So people will, what do we call it? Band dogs or
Band
just
dogs.
yeah, that's like a band dog thing. It's not Connie Corsa, never will be. The black and tan thing has always been a thing specific to the States only, and even that is incorrect. But it was here. It was here, and there are breeders that accept it, even though they should not.
Yeah, oh, okay. His phone went dead. Even plugged in, it just turns on and off.
Oh no, he was on the phone.
Okay. So, I'll tell you what, man, that makes me not feel so bad considering
Yeah.
how bad the stream went. Like, not that the stream is bad, but how bad the start was. You know what I mean?
Well, are we gonna reschedule?
That just goes to show that tonight is just a night of technical difficulties. So that just really makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So I want to, while we have a minute, I actually would like to talk about the standard that, in fact, I'll go to my phone because my computer is so slow. Can somebody tell me why Microsoft computers are so slow? I'd really like to know.
Because you need what I got.
I know, right?
You
Alrighty.
need what I got.
Seriously.
I got a rare computer, but it works.
Okay, so
what standard are we talking about? The original Mersani or?
Wow, yeah, he said no, the battery must have shorted. It just turns on and then off.
Oh God, are we gonna have to reschedule with Jimmy and just turn this into R&R?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, woohoo! I'm up for that. You know me, I'm like the party girl. These informative pieces are fun too, but I feel right at home doing whatever I want to do and say.
Let's see here. So, God, why is it so slow? All right. I don't even know how to use Facebook on my computer. That's how much I don't use it. I'm just like, what is this? Here we go. All right. So he posted the standard. Here we go. Original NCI standard.
We're going to reschedule with Jimmy. We will continue this, and we will make sure we do it on time, and we use a different software, and we'll make sure that Jimmy has what he needs as well. So we will continue. Oh, yeah, they said stiff where? Nowhere. She ain't stiff. All right, girl, let's cut loose.
Girl, I hear you. Okay, so first of all, let me see if I can't switch this. No! Dang it, what did I do? Oh, wait. What did I just do? Oh, you know what? I think I do know what to do. And then I just move you over here. Boom, bam, I got it. I'm going to get back a little bit because Your
Girl,
girl's
are you?
looking a little on the big side.
Rachel wants to talk about the standard.
Yeah, I do, y'all. I do, because this matters. Okay.
Okay, let's
Well,
go. Let's go.
because I've been talking about this, y'all. I've been talking about this, and
Okay,
everybody wants to trip on me.
girl, you know what
Okay.
this feels like? It feels like I'm back in school and I need to really concentrate and I really need to put on my scientific brain and it just won't plug in right now, but I'm going to do it.
Girl. Okay. So
Okay.
you guys. Okay. So y'all know how I've always talked about the fact that the Corso was never meant to be a Neapolitan Mastiff. Okay. I've talked about this before. And I was very clear about the fact that the Italians wanted them to be two separate breeds. A Corso is not an early Neapolitan Mastiff. So it
No,
says
no, no.
here in the standard, it says here, and I quote, nowhere in any way the Corso must remind of a Neapolitan Mastiff.
Ooh.
Boom.
There, boom, girl.
From the Italians themselves. At no point should it resemble a Neapolitan Mastiff. So all these people who are talking about what the dog should be and breeding, and how it should look like an early Neo and blah blah blah. And
oh yeah. What do they say? Regal or retro? What is that word they always use?
Yeah, it's lies.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting to me is when Jimmy was talking about the original American Standard, and it just feels as if they made a mistake. Like to start that way was a mistake. And that is why we are here now with the issue of what the breed should be and what it shouldn't be. I don't really understand why there was zero communication with the home country of the breed and we just kind of adopted them over here and wrote our own standard to kind of suit what we were breeding. It just seemed like it was a mistake, and that is why we are here now. Yes, they use the word rustic. Whenever it looks like a Neo, it's rustic. They always say it's rustic. Ain't it, Augie? Ain't it, Augie? He's just saying,
yeah. And that's the thing, y'all, is that it is not rustic. It is incorrect.
Yeah, it's not Cane Corso. It is not Cane Corso.
Right. And there was another part in here, let me find it, where it said, why aren't you working? Here we go. Okay. So general, okay, so under, it says build faults, okay? Build faults. General look, and these are faults, right? Like I just said that. General features. General look, uncouth, stocky, heavy, or too light. Now, let's, first of all, because because I need to understand that word. Okay, uncouth. Yeah, okay, I said it right. And yeah, uncouth. A person or their appearance or behavior lacking good manners, refinement, or grace. Yeah, so okay. So basically an ugly dog. Let's see here. Stocky. So I can't tell you how many American Corso that I have seen that were stocky.
Yes.
And that's one of my biggest pet peeves about a lot of the American stock is how we would even go so far as to say you call it overdone, how overdone a lot of these dogs are.
Yeah.
It says here, or too light, which I think we've all seen as well.
Yeah. No.
Yep,
bone.
heavy is also an issue. Disharmony between head and trunk. Spongy or thin bone structure, lack of symmetry. And here we go. Similar to the Neapolitan Mastiff or Greyhound. Now, that's 2 times now that the original Italian standard has said, don't look like a Neo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should not look like a Neo. So when you hear some breeder trying to explain away their Neo cross by saying, oh, well, the Corso is the original, Neo, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. And no, it shouldn't look like that. And no, it's not okay. It's not rustic. It's not okay. Let me see here. There's 2 out of 2. Where's the next one at? 1 out of 2, 2 out of 2. Okay, yeah. So that's the other. So the other one, yeah, is that it just says here about the Corso must not remind of a Neapolitan Mastiff. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I personally had never read that standard. I've read the Morsani notes, which those of you in the breed will know. I shared it on our personal Facebook page for the mentorship page. And, I was talking about how detailed those notes are, right? They're like super detailed.
Yeah.
You really have to care about the breed to read over those notes. You really have to be trying to breed for the right dog. And I can't tell you how many people are not. I even people that and I hate to say this word mentor because I wouldn't say that I'm anybody's mentor. And I know that people would eat me alive if I ever even insinuated I was anybody's mentor. But, but there are people that will ask me my opinion about things, about dogs. And when somebody tells me, like Reese did, for example, there is as I was learning, there was this one breeder that I had said that I liked this specific dog. Now, in my defense, this dog was half Italian. This particular breeder is not known for working with European lines, like ever. He breeds dogs that look like Rottweiler, apparently act like Rottweiler, and he's been doing it for so long that they breed extremely true. It's so potent. I won't even touch the lines because it'll mess up anything that you've got going for you. But a lot of people, it's kind of like, it's hard to explain what it is, but basically a lot of newbies, when they get into the breed, they're drawn to it because the dogs, to an untrained eye, they look impressive. They have a lot of bone. They're big. And you think to yourself, oh, that's a pretty dog. And it is a pretty dog. Is it typey for a Corso? No.
No.
And if it was a breed of a different name, wouldn't have a problem with it. But is it Corso? No. And a lot of people will say to me, oh, I was thinking of getting into this person's lines. And I have to literally tell them, no. Don't do it because you'll if you do that, the community around those lines are extremely toxic and they only believe in that specific dog. And you will not be, they will not want you working with European lines. They will want you working with their stuff only. And that it will be very difficult to breed a dog to the standard while using those lines. And so, and I will show people like, this is the dog. And I think that both you and I learned a lot about the breed and how to identify correct breed type, especially in the head, when we went to Europe, because they really were breaking down for us what was incorrect about specifically like my dogs, because you were better off. You had actually really good heads because you bought from a breeder that kind of like specializes in beautiful heads. Mine were not. Mine were, I had dogs that were like half American, and even the European side was I won't say hyper, but had some hyper features. And so, and they were helping us understand what it was about our dogs that were causing them to look off. Like,
Yeah.
for example, a very common thing is like pit bulls have. Pit bulls have these big round cheeks, and a
Yeah.
Corso should not have those. Okay, the Corso head should be square. The
Yeah.
eyes should actually be like, if you're looking at the dog from front on, the eyes, like the ends of the eyes should actually meet right here to the sides of the face. So the eyes should be spread out farther. They shouldn't be really close in like this.
Yeah.
And the muzzle should be wide. It should not
Yeah.
be narrow and small. They would call that empty when a dog
Empty. Yeah.
when a dog wasn't as wide as it needed to be. They would call that the dog was empty. And so there were all of these things. You can have too much stop, which makes a dog look hyper. You can have not enough stop, which makes it look like a pressa.
Yeah.
There's so many the ears, the where the ears sit on the head,
Yeah.
the just the skull in general. It should not be rounded. The head should not be rounded. So
And
all
you know
of
what was
these.
so unique for me? I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But what was very unique about that experience is that there were dogs from all over the world there, and they all look like Cane Corso. There is good and there is bad, and all dogs have their weaknesses, but they didn't have the traits that we see in America. The traits
Right.
we see in America are unique to our country only.
Right. Right.
Mind you, there have been dogs exported out of the United States that are now being used in Europe and the rest of the world. But I will say that was the most powerful thing for me, is that all over the world, these dogs look like Cane Corso.
Yes, except for
They
here,
kind of,
mind you.
except for here, there are dogs that definitely resemble other breeds, for sure. And it happened to the Akita. Do they call it the American Akita over here? Is it the American? And
I think it's just, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's just the Akita. I don't think it's an
Just
official
Akita.
difference.
Most people don't even know that there was a actual Japanese Akita. Like it is very unique to Japan.
Yeah.
And it was over here, but the American people over here wanted a different dog. And what did they breed in? I forgot what and all they bred in. Shepherd.
It was a Mastiff. They bred in actually a Mastiff into it. That's what I was reading.
Okay. And they made a bigger dog. They changed the temperaments on the dogs and the colors and the pretty much put the Japanese Akita out the door. Out the back door.
Yeah, you couldn't show a true Japanese Akita in AKC.
I've never even
They're
seen
so
them in person.
yeah, they're so different. They don't even look like the same breed anymore. And I'm seeing some comments on here, and I want to address something, okay? I'm seeing some comments about what about brains? What about this? What about blah, blah, blah? One of the things that irritates me about people that have American lines and that don't want to adopt the European dog is they try to insinuate that their dogs have better working ability, better temperaments, better drive, blah, 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 whatever it may be. Better intelligence, blah, blah, blah. And that is a complete lie. If you go to Europe, you would see that the dogs over there have excellent temperaments. You would see that they are not soft dogs. You we have to laugh. You and I have to laugh at that because we know exactly what's over there.
Oh yeah, we know the reality.
Yeah, nowhere close to soft. But
the temperaments are not consistent over here either.
Yeah.
They have and I'm not putting American kind of like breeders down. There are American breeders that are really working hard to actually breed for the correct dog.
Yeah.
But we are speaking on the American breeders that are breeding towards a totally different dog. And if they would just split away from the Cane Corso and call themselves the American Corso dog, I would be happy with that. I'd be completely fine, but we have to there has to be a clear understanding that there is only one Cane Corso. There is not
Yeah.
two or three or four. There is only one standard. There is only one dog, and it came
Yeah.
from one country. And we have no right to barge in and change anything about it. Maybe revisions to make the to make it more understandable in our language, and even they revised to clear things up as time goes. We were a part of the revisions, because even they recognize that some of the verbiage is not perfect.
And I do want to say thank you for clarifying that, because I have a tendency to be kind of lazy in my speech, and I'm just like, oh, American this and that. When we say American breeders, American dog, we are speaking about a very specific dog that looks nothing like the standard. These people do not believe in the European dog. They don't believe in the European standard. They're not trying to even remotely breed a dog that looks like that. So I do want to be clear on that. I'm not crapping on American lines. I have American lines.
In fact, I've even read one of the breeders wrote an article where pretty much it claims that the European, the Italian Cane Corso is actually the imposter. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And so they do not, and they're very clear that they do not believe in the Italian Cane Corso. They do not believe in the dogs that were named after their country. And so it is a clear division, and they want what they're doing. I guess it's easier to just invade and just take the breed over here than to start their own breed and go through what it takes to create a breed. And so I think it's easier to just kind of infiltrate, kind of like what happened with the Japanese Akita. And just take it, and then what will be left of the real Cane Corso, the actual original, will be over there. And when they're brought over here, they will be in the imposters. It's a lazy way, in my opinion, of doing things.
Yes. And I'll be honest, you guys, their story is that what's his name? The guy that brought the dogs over here, Mike Satilli. Their story is that Mike Satilli brought over the only true Corsos, and that in Europe they added a bunch of boxers in. And so they have this special pure version of the Corso that is untouched by boxer and mixing, and that's the true dog. And that is a lie. It is 100% a lie. Those are neo mixes. It's been neo Rottweiler mixes. It's been proven genetically that they are. So there's no question about that. And the European Corso have not been shown to just basically be a boxer hybrid. And like I said, I want to be very clear. I've seen a lot of these people, what they fall back on is, well, the working ability. Well, European Corso have excellent working ability. Many of them already have working titles, especially because they want to show at the Raduno dell'Agno. So in order to be an Italian champion, you need to have a working title first. So they are making sure that their dogs have working ability. So the idea that somehow these other dogs are soft boxer dogs, that is a fabrication. It's a defensive lie that these people make up to try to justify what they have, because they're emotionally attached to the dogs that they have, and they don't want to better their breed programs. They have a personal preference to what is in their yard, and they don't want to get with the standard, and they don't want to get with the program, And what I see a lot of breeders doing in America is really fantastic, because instead of going the way of the Akita, what we are doing is we're recognizing, okay, we've went the wrong direction, and we want to right that wrong. We want our breed to be the same breed no matter what continent or country you're in. And so in order to do that, we have to have parallel standards, maybe not written verbally exactly the same, but they represent and stand for the same dog. And there are really good breeders like Jimmy who has changed. Jimmy will tell you, he's told me firsthand, he's had dogs that fit the original American standard. He had them. And because of the changes, he has moved his kennel to fit that. And I think any responsible breeder will do that. An irresponsible breeder is going to maintain, they're going to stick their heels in the mud and say, no, I'm not changing. I don't care what the Italians think about their own breed. I don't care about the original standard. I don't care about any of that because I think I'm right. I want my dogs, to be the thing. And they're just being stubborn. And it's not about the betterment of the breed. It's not about preserving the breed. It's about stroking their own egos and aligning with their own breed preferences. That's literally, it's selfishness. That's the difference between a breeder that is a good breeder that preserves the breed and a breeder that selects for what they like because they breed for their own preferences and their own yard, which is, it's a very selfish thing to do. And that's how you lose breeds. And we need everyone's help to ensure that that does not happen to this breed. And the way that we do that is by being active in the breed club, because what a lot of people don't realize, and I saw people commenting about this on Instagram, is people thinking that the AKC is doing these changes. The AKC has nothing to do with the breed standard changes that may or may not be proposed. We don't know if they're pushing for a new standard or not. We do know that there is a group. We do know that there have been some illustrations put out that do not meet with the current standard. So we don't know if they're going to try to pull something or not.
This is my whole thing about it, is that Rachel and I, we represent a percentile of people that are not interested in their politics and what they do and who wants to be first and win all the awards and whatever else. We are interested in the breed only, the breed first. And what we know now is that we don't know anything. The club has, I'm pretty sure, I'm positive, the BODs of the club, the people responsible for our breed club, they haven't made any effort to clarify what is going on and to shut down rumors. And so we only have rumors to go by. And these posts that Rachel say that we see every now and again, like illustrations and them talking about color and, so people are speculating because there is no clarity on the club's end. If they came in and they said, hey, this is what's going on, this is the documentation we have to prove that this is going on, there aren't going to be any standard changes, but maybe revisions, and these are what we are going to revise, or this is what we are going to change, it would shut this entire conversation down, because then we would know what is going on. So people of the CCAA, if you see this live stream, please post publicly on your website what is going on. People are only going to keep speculating if you don't give us clarity.
Exactly.
And the members deserve the clarity. The community, the public deserves the clarity. That is all we're asking for. We have no other interests, no political interest or gain. We just want to preserve and move forward with the breed that we know and we love, which is the Italian Cane Corso.
Exactly. And I mean, what else could you expect when you have a group called AKC Standard Changes, and you have these illustrations that do not come close to meeting with the original dog, and then you talk about spending $7,000 on an illustration, which is like, first of all, ridiculous. I don't know, you guys can't really see it, but I have a custom hand painted painting, a huge huge painting of a Corso behind me, and it cost me like a little over $1,000. I don't. There's no reason that an illustration that is oftentimes not colored, things like that. Even if it was, I don't care if it was 6 feet tall and 5 feet wide and painted in oil. It shouldn't cost $7,000.
And they're spending this money, and they're making these decisions and these choices, but they're publicly not saying why they're doing it. And that is the problem. Like what is going on? Like people, and more people would actually join the breed club if there was more honesty and clarity on their behalf and their part. But I don't think they want people to join. I think they want to keep the club kind of deadlocked for their own advantages. And I think the way it's being handled is pitiful. And it only hurts the breed. It only hurts the community. It keeps the community split up and arguing amongst themselves. Right now, there are people in the community very upset because they just want to know what's going on.
Exactly.
They just want to know what's going on. That's all they ask. What is going on? And in the background, we hear rumors of, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. We're not changing. We'll say it publicly. If you're not changing,
yes,
say
exactly.
It publicly.
Yeah, if nothing's going on, just say something. Because I don't know about you, Reese, but nobody's contacted me. You know what I mean? Nobody's contacted me, and we reached out to them. Did we not? Yeah, we reached out.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber here on on the YouTube community, and she's a breeder at Cane Corso, and she came to us, and she said that she was speaking on behalf of them and wanted to know if we would interview. And we said absolutely. Never heard a word. She's supposed to give us this documentation concerning the standard, 2 versions of the standard, and she never gave us that documentation. She never called us, and so here we are now. Still, how long has it been? And we still don't know anything. And people are very upset. I seen a breeder today on Facebook. She said that it was heartbreaking that she loved this breed so much, because it made it very hard to just walk away. Like she's just gonna have to stick it out. Regardless of the horrible issues. But people just want clarity. They just want what this all is about. Is the breed club's inability to give the people, the community that loves the breed, clarity.
Which mind you, I just have to say, like, is ridiculous. Like any other organization, I don't care if it's like your city, like traffic, like every organization has, they often will have like update pages, and they'll be updating, and they'll be letting all of their members know about everything that's going on. We pay into the CCAA on a yearly basis. It is a yearly fee, and we pay into that. And yet we can't even get any info on what is actually either going on or not going on with our breed. We should all have access to that page, regardless of whether or not you have I noticed on there, it's like if you have a moderator blocked. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but we don't play that power trip. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody has you blocked, they probably have you blocked for a good reason. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't have access to your group, period. That kind of power trip is just ridiculous.
It's political gain. And that's all that this is about. And it hurts the people who really want the best for the breed. And it's ridiculous. I'm told Rachel tonight, I'm really tired of it. I'm really, really tired of it. I'm tired of the people. I'm tired of the issues. I don't know why this shit is rocket science. I don't know why it has to be so difficult to tell. Now they have a newsletter. I ain't read it, but I'm sure it ain't about shit. We're just being completely honest, because if it was about anything, somebody would have posted something by now. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, F the newsletter. We want to see, unless you're gonna put in there what's going on with this standard.
Yeah.
If you want to shut up.
Yeah, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like if you were an architecture company, right? Or an organization, and you were thinking of developing a new way to install siding, okay? And you have all these builders that are a part of this organization, right? And you just decide, well, we're going to decide new regulations on how to install siding. But you don't tell anyone.
You charge them for it. You charge them.
Yes, you charge them for it, right? And they're held accountable for it, because when you take that dog into the ring, it better look like the standard, right? But then you don't tell anybody. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's so it's so messed up, this whole idea of the way it is. And what it reminds me of, and I told Reese this, because when she wanted me to join the breed club originally, I was like, no, I don't like clubs. You know what I mean? It reminds me of like the tree house. And it's like, this is our tree house and you can't come in the tree house anymore because we're not friends with you anymore.
But let's be honest, I don't like clubs either. Like I am not.
No, but you were like, look, it's for the breed's best interest. And I hate. Yes.
It's like $60. How much is the yearly membership for one individual?
I don't know, because I just tried to do. I don't remember. I don't remember.
I don't know, but it's kind of like offensive, being that we don't ever get to know. I can get a whole magazine subscription for 5 years for one day. Yearly membership, and I'm about to invest in some more makeup, because I'm not going to pay a penny more for their bull crap if we don't see changes this year. Reese, and
I think that's what they want, though. I think they want to push everybody out so that they can do whatever they want and not have anybody voting against it. I think that's what it is. And
true,
it's one of these horrible things where their decisions matter. They will echo through time, and the only way to protect this breed is to put up with the nonsense, so that when it comes to voting, we have the opportunity to vote these people in or out, the ones that need to be there. And, like, I had a really good friend of mine contact me today to let me know that she had a very long conversation with one of the big people in the club. I'm not going to say who. And what bothered me about it was, I'm like, okay, but why couldn't this person contact me? This is the same person that when that other YouTuber, that clout chaser YouTuber, decided to come to us.
Now, y'all, see a big deal.
Let's just be honest, though. That's the truth.
She's doing it all. She is playing tiddlywinkles with the CCA members now.
Yes, ma'am, she is.
And she's big shit now. She hot shit.
Oh yeah, her nose is all kinds of brown. She got all kinds of brown nose. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, she's hot.
Thank you. Exactly. Thank you. And so when we were told that the holier than thou being, whatever, we were like, hey, we will talk to this person. We don't have a problem talking to this person.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bothered to talk to us. So, and it's like, okay, well,
after we voted,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she talked us into voting for certain people because it was going to help the breed, and it was all trickery and lies. And now, she's sitting on her little pedestal, and eventually she'll find out that she's getting used, just like everybody else.
Breaking all the rules, doing everything wrong. She's a little newborn, hasn't even wiped off the afterbirth yet, but yet she's all up there trying to be somebody.
Yeah, girl, let's get her. let's get her. I'm
I'm
ready.
just sitting here like, oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah. She came for Rachel, y'all. She came.
Girl, she came
She
and
came.
lost.
Yeah,
She came and lost. And
yeah,
let me tell
she
you
came.
something, that was like easy. That was like nothing. I was like, excuse me, young lady. But
You know
I
what?
was helping you out, not the other way around, honey. Because thing about it is, and Reese and I are the same way on this. We're gonna breed for the standard, regardless of what they do. if
Oh
if
yeah.
if if we're gonna be them people with like the regular German shepherds, and everybody was breeding them show German shepherds, and we're gonna be the
Yeah.
only people where you can get a regular German shepherd, that's what it's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Because we
What
don't
they
care. We've
do,
already made up our minds.
exactly. We are going to do what we believe is right,
Yeah.
regardless of what anybody else does. But
Yeah.
we are doing our best to speak up, because other people other people, I don't know if other people stood up for the German shepherd or not, but I know that I never heard about it. I literally had a German shepherd at one point, and I remember posting on a forum about it, and about the backs, and all these people would jump down my throat for mentioning these slope back dogs. And oh, it's just the way they're stacked. It's just the way they're stacked. No, honey, it's not. And like, I don't want the Corso to go that way. I want it to be known that Reese and I stood up against the change, and for the original dog, for the original standard, and we tried to do the right thing. And if these
Yeah.
other people want to do what they want to do, and they want to fit the breed standard to fit what's in their backyard, that's on them. But what I can tell you is that even if they are to succeed, times everything is cyclical. You know what I mean? I used to worry a lot about the pit bull, because I used to breed pit bulls. You guys know that. And then the bully dog thing came, and I was so mad. And I fought, and I didn't have the audience I do now, but I fought, and I tried to educate, and blah blah blah, right? And couldn't educate people, because everybody was so in love with these bully dogs. They look so impressive, blah blah blah. But the reality is that after the kind of newness wore off, all of a sudden now there is a preference for the original pit bull. A lot of people know what that dog is now, and they are breeding them, and they are trying to bring back the original dog. And
Dog.
the
Yeah.
yeah, and the people that kept with that and kept breeding those dogs are the ones saving that breed now, and they're the ones that are being rewarded for doing that hard work and staying true to the
Yeah.
true dog. So
Yep.
Reese and
And
I
I
are
guess
in it for the long haul. We're young,
I
okay? A lot of these people are getting old. We're young. We're gonna be here.
yeah.
They're gonna be in
You're
their
not gonna
wheelchairs, and
be
we're gonna be
retiring.
here.
Yeah,
And
you won't be
we will
retired
still be here
anytime
with the
soon.
dog. Yeah.
My thing is, I just don't. I guess I educated myself about the breed. I had people that came along the way that did help, but it wasn't so hard for me to recognize on my own the true Cane Corso. And so I guess I just don't understand why for others it's so hard.
Yes.
It's so hard to recognize the real, true, authentic dog. And how could you fall in love with anything other
Right.
than the true dog? And if you are not in love with the true dog, then do your own thing, but don't call it a Cane Corso.
Exactly.
That's just where I am with it.
Exactly.
I'm so tired of the issues and the drama and this breed. There's all and they always have there always has to be a side. Whose side are you
Exactly.
on? The left or the right? I'm on no one's side. I'm just on the breed side.
Exactly.
We're
Exactly.
not going anywhere. I mean, I may disappear off YouTube, off the face of the earth every now and again, and people's like, "Where's Reese?" Reese will always be breeding Cane Corsos. You will find me somewhere
Yep.
breeding Corso. The same with Rachel.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And that's my point, y'all. Is we're always going to be here. You know what I mean? We're always going to be doing what we got to do. And we are trying our best to educate everyone so that our breed doesn't go through that downfall and then back up. But regardless, we're still going to do what we got to do.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
That's just the truth.
Oh, and I'm a little butthurt. I love you too, Shay. I didn't get a Discord.
What? Girl, I don't even go on my Discord. I don't even go on it, girl. It's not because I don't like it. I really and genuinely just do not have the time. You know what I mean? I just don't.
I don't even know what Discord is, but I know you got one. I'm a little
Yeah,
butthurt.
I just don't. I really wish that I did. But I just don't. So I hate that. I know. I do hate that.
Cole said he'll make me a Discord. I appreciate that. It'll probably be nobody on there. You gotta waste your time. Don't waste your time. I'm just
Girl,
joking.
you know what they should do? They should actually like rename ours to where it's like both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, y'all could do that if y'all wanted to.
Girl,
We
because like
need to
literally, that would be
we need
awesome.
we need to get to some news because we got some big news. Well, I got
Mm-hmm.
some news. You got news?
Girl, me?
Yeah,
News?
yeah, news. So
Um,
Jade super pregnant, guys. She's super pregnant. She looks like she's about to bust down any day. But I think she's got another 2 weeks left.
yeah, I'm super excited about that later, y'all.
I'm super, super, super duper excited.
Mm-hmm. Very, very, very excited. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I have my new female that I love so much. I've had a lot of people asking about being on her litter whenever I breed her to preacher. And that's about it. I don't really have much going on. Oh, I do actually. I have good news. So Savannah is having her first show next weekend.
Oh yeah, Savannah. And she's so good, you guys. Like I've seen her here and there with this stacking out dog. She looks really, really good. Really good. Hopefully next year it'll be her and Auntie Reese out there.
Yep. Really, really excited about it, y'all. She'll be taking Nirvana. Not because, thank you, Matthew. Not because like she doesn't want to take her male, but just because she needs her male has to be trained. He's just not trained yet.
Yeah.
So, and he's just not. He's very young, and he's not quite at a point yet where I feel that he is going to be able to show very well. He's so big. He's a huge dog. Okay, Akiro is going to be huge, and he's just going through the uglies. And Nirvana.
Most Cane Corso go through the ugly stages. I found that very few actually mature out like nice and even. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think Akira is gonna really finish out beautifully. He reminds me a lot of, you know who he reminds me of.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So Hefe, I'll probably start working with pretty soon because he is holding together really well. He reminds me a lot of Nirvana in his growth. But even he needs some time. And so I'll probably start off with Suki first because she's looking really nice. Her head type is like it's not the best in the world, but
it's still tight. I think it's good.
Yeah, but But her body is really top notch, and when her expression is on, it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah. So anyway. So yeah, other than that, no news is good news. We still have some spots on our litters coming up.
Yeah, I actually have spots on Jade's litter. I have female spots.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I took deposits not knowing the heifer was going to get so big. I really did, and then I'm like, well, I might as well just get about 4 more spots filled.
When are you X-raying her?
This coming up week. I'm
so
gonna probably do
it. You guys are so excited.
I want to sing that song. That's my best friend.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
Yes. We need to get this song, and we need to just play it just sporadically through our lives.
Yeah. Girl, I love it. Girl, yes. I love it. That's like the best thing about us being the way we are, and I love that. Is like we win together. You know what I mean? Everything, exactly. Like it's nothing to like give a pick of the litter, whatever, to one another, because it's like, girl, best friend. Let me get something off of it. break me off a little bit, Reese. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like we'll do a breeding, and Reese will be like, girl, let me get something off of that. I'm like, girl, all you gotta do is say so. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and we just that's how we do. You know what I mean? And we win together. Yeah. We win together.
Yes. We are making this. Somebody wants to know, Deborah, if you named your new female yet.
Me?
Yeah, your big black. You know, I was about to say it, but I'm not going to say it.
I know exactly what you've been to say. So I'm not going to lie. We've just been calling her Big Mama, which I know y'all didn't like because y'all had a Big Mama. But that's just what we've been calling her. She's so sweet, girl. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't thought of anything yet, girl. So, I mean, I only recently came up with the name for Cash. I didn't like Cash at first, but I had to stick with it because I told the breeder that I was going to name him Cash, and Daisha was easy. They came up with Daisha. Thank God I didn't have to come up with a name. So,
or you just keep Emola.
I don't like it. Ebola. You know what I mean? Like she got a mola. I just don't. It's like I know somebody said that we're pronouncing it wrong. Let me find out. Like there's like some. So there's the Imola racetrack.
How else do you pronounce that? Unless he be spelling names.
Yeah, some guy was telling me that I was pronouncing it wrong, and he thought it was a great name. Let me see how you pronounce
it. Is it Ebola?
Yeah. Imola.
like remember Ebony?
Yeah, Ebony. Exactly. Okay, so it's Amola.
I said Ebola. It sounds like Ebola.
Yeah, Amola.
It's Ebula. Is it Ebula? Somebody says I don't know.
I don't know. It still doesn't. It doesn't really change it for me. It's like okay, it's better, but and don't get me wrong. I love cars and I love racing, but I'd rather name her Talladega.
Talladega. Oh my gosh.
Raise your hand if you love Talladega Nights. It's one of my favorites.
Take a break. Oh my gosh. My daughter, she goes around with the baby Jesus. Remember my daughter spilled hot soup on her knee, and I felt so bad for her. And she goes, God. Can you remember that? You were on the phone. And she goes, can I just get a baby Jesus?
Oh my I remember that. And you got her a baby Jesus, girl. You got her a baby Jesus. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Dear baby Jesus.
I love it, girl.
Dear sweet
So,
baby Jesus.
girl, Juanita says, isn't that the reason most German Shepherd breeders do not like AKC because of how AKC didn't care and that's how they became slope-backed? It's not that AKC did not care. I think it's very important to emphasize that AKC is not allowed, nor are they in charge of the breed. It's the breed
They
club.
are record keepers. They help record keep to maintain breeds, the pureness of breeds. That's all they do. And they put on shows for them. They, that's what they do. They're record keepers, and they let the breed clubs maintain. Well, they help with the maintaining, but the breed clubs dictate, the standard of the breed, even bylaws within their club. There's a lot that the breed club is actually in control of. And,
They just they all they do is when you have a breed that is not in AKC, you'll have a breed club. And they'll put on shows, and then you can petition to get a part of the rare breed club or the rare breed shows. And once you get accepted into the AKC says, okay, now we're going to recognize your breed club. And it's kind of like, it's hard to describe. It's really hard to describe because there's really nothing else like that. I guess you could say this. It's like a library, right? A library holds books, but they don't write the books. They don't tell people what they can write in the books, or if they're allowed to edit a book, or if a book should not be allowed to be sold anymore. They just sell books, and they hold books, and they organize books. That's it. That's all they do. You know what I mean? They may authenticate whether a first edition is actually a first edition for you. But, you know what I mean? But they are not the keepers, of the contents of that book. And that's what the AKC is to our breed. They, unfortunately, as much as we would like to have to be able to say to somebody, like, believe me, Reese and I've had this discussion of like, well, can we go to the AKC? No, we can't. We can't. No. If the breed club gets so corrupt that they decide to if they decided tomorrow to change our standard to look like a poodle, then it would look like a poodle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing AKC could do about it.
But the breed club does have to follow guidelines set by AKC. But AKC, other than that, AKC is not in the driver's seat.
And I will say, there may be some kind of rule that says that you can't change the standard like that much. You know what I mean? I'm being facetious right now, right? I'm being I'm being laughable. But
tomorrow there's going to be somebody, oh my God, she was
exactly. She
doesn't
know what she's talking about. She said they're going to be the poodle. It's not what I'm saying. I'm simply stating, because I do believe that there are some rules about, like, I know that they're not allowed to change the standard too often. I know that there's that. I'm pretty sure that there are probably some rules as to how much they can change the standard. But the reality is, all you have to do is look at the German Shepherd to realize that it doesn't take much of a change to have a drastic change in the dogs. So I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Okay. So no, I'm not actually seriously insinuating that they could make our dogs like a poodle tomorrow.
No.
So yeah.
Ooh, girl, I got a name for your dog.
Hold on, girl. Let me get to Juanita. May I ask why AKC would give points to slopeback and then they become champs and then they breed champs, or did the club want slopeback? Most likely, the club wanted slopeback. I'm not in the German Shepherd breed, so I couldn't tell you that to be certain, but most likely that's what happened. Because I do know one of the breeds that I did research very heavily was the boxer. I really wanted to research them because this one breeder friend of mine had told me, I always wondered why that they did mix boxer in and not some other breed of dog, because there was a time when I didn't, I've never really been a fan of boxers, to be honest with you. And I didn't understand why. And I could show you a message where I sent to this guy that said I would rather have Rottweiler in my dog than boxer, because I didn't realize why they did that. And it's because at the time I didn't realize breed type. And so I did a lot of research into the boxer, and I realized you have to really research the boxer to understand why boxer was added whenever there was a lot of genetic diversity in our breed. It wasn't added to such an extreme degree like people insinuate. It's not a boxer mix. Okay, they added a little bit. So let's not get it twisted. But
and it was a long time. It was a long time
ago. A long time ago, yeah. It's nothing current.
In the States is more recent.
Yes, exactly.
That is the difference.
Yes. And so what you could, the boxer is a good example of a breed that actually looks nothing like, kind of, I'm not going to say nothing like, but very far from its original breed type. And there's a record of all the times that the standard was changed on their official breed club page, which I thought was pretty cool, the boxer breed club page. So they show you all the revisions to their standard, and it's changed so much that's why you have a different dog now. And they wanted that extreme boxer that we're all used to seeing now. They wanted that. I was able to look through and see the inbreeding that they did. Reese and I were talking about that recently. It's no mystery why the boxer has so many health problems when you look at the pedigrees far back enough, around the 40s and 50s, because of the amount of inbreeding they did to narrow down the phenotype in those dogs to what they are now. And so yes, and so the only thing that prevents those kinds of changes from happening is people who stand up and say, no, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? We're not going to do that. And a lot of times those kinds of changes are pushed by people in the show community. There's no other reason to change a dog than you want an upper edge on winning in the shows. Because if you can fit the standard to what is in your backyard, then you can have an upper edge on everybody else that doesn't have that breed type.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do with our breed. The people that are pushing for these breed changes are people that show very heavily. And it isn't, showing the dog itself that causes the problem. That's a false equivalence. The problem is the people that are selfish, that want to be more competitive and say, my backyard is the ideal dog. Okay. Yeah. And even if it doesn't meet the standard, then I'll make the standard fit my backyard so that I get to win, and unfortunately in this breed, the standard was different a while back because they didn't realize, like, there was so much misinformation about the Corso in America. They didn't really know what a Corso was. They had to kind of wait for Europe to kind of lead the way eventually because they had been misled by Mike Satilli. I've spoke with breeders that have been around a long time that said that they saw Mike Satilli Jr. breeding to Neos. So, and we know what those genetics are. So the breed over here was unfortunately was fraudulent. And once they realized it, then now we have the true standard from Europe. And we're trying to kind of, it's like we've been driving on the wrong side of the road and we're trying to pull the car over to the right side of the roed. And there are people that are like, no, stay over here because I'm used to driving on this side.
Well, they've invested a lot of time and finances into what they are doing. And it's hard when you have invested so much of your time and your money into something, just scratch it and start all over. And I think that's what drove the division and the breed over here.
Yeah.
Was people's personal investment into what they had done to that point.
Yeah. I genuinely believe that they would be happier if they would just create their new breed, the Sicilian Branchero or the American Corso, whatever the heck they want to call it. I think they would be much happier. It's no different than the bully dog. It really isn't. The bully dog is a breed now. I told Reese it's only a matter of time before the AKC accepts them into the breed club. And you know, it's it is what it is. You don't have to like bully dogs to recognize that it's a breed now. You know, I don't like them. I cannot bring myself to buy them. A lot of people in the Corso community have started getting into these like exotic bullies and stuff, and I won't touch it on principle alone. It's too fresh for me in my mind because I was breeding pits and I was fighting against that, and it just feels like the wrong thing to do. My pride. I can't let my pride down enough to do it. But a lot of people are doing it, and there's a lot of money in it.
Oh yeah, a whole lot of money. I mean, and maybe some of those people should just walk away from the Corso and just breed bullies because they, it seems like it's their type of dog more so than the Corso.
Yes.
And there's more money in it for them. So, I will not say anything about it. You go right ahead and do you.
Yeah, exactly. I would praise them for it. You know what I mean? I would praise them for being like, you know what? We believe in this dog. We're not, we respect the fact that you guys are, you guys are going to breed what you believe is your dog, but we're not going to breed to that standard. And, and breed what they have enough genetic diversity to literally separate and do their own thing. They do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do. Yep. And they could completely offshoot and be the American Corso, and people would like those dogs. People would buy those dogs. I think it would be a great move, but I don't think they're going to do it.
No, because they're so far in knees deep into this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's driving me crazy. But I do wish the breed club would just come out and shut the rumors up and just give us clarity in what's going on, because they're saying that nothing's going on, but that it doesn't feel like that. It feels like something is definitely going on because they're being too quiet.
Yes, and I actually want to read you guys something. Okay, this is a blog post from a breeder that focuses on American lines. Okay, and when I say American lines, I'm not talking about American lines that have been bred to the standard. I'm talking about a person that is breeding dogs that resemble a Rottweiler and a Neo. And they breed what they call in the Corso breed in America. When somebody is breeding those lines, they're oftentimes referred to as rustic or traditional, although they are neither. So let's see here. Let's get to where he just okay. So let's see here. So many Corso breeders and enthusiasts hold that there are, in fact, two separate lineages that have developed over the years: the traditional Cane Corso and the non-traditional Cane Corso. Okay, now notice how these people will often, this is what they do, right? They hold their dog up to say, this is the real thing, and then they'll say this other thing is not the real thing, okay?
It's not the real thing,
right.
Exactly.
And so he says traditional Cane Corso refers to the population of Corsos descended directly and exclusively from those first dogs that came to the United States from Italy back in 1989. Sometimes referred to as all-American, these dogs are the continuation of the old Italian bloodline. These are the true Corsos. Now, I want to be very clear. There's no evidence that I have seen set forth that has actually proven that those dogs were imported at all. They were They were bred by people that worked with Neos, Neapolitan
Neos,
Mastiffs,
yeah,
and they looked like Neos.
yeah. The evidence is more so pointing to counterfeit. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
counterfeit. Yeah.
because they don't look like what was being bred in Italy at that time either.
No, no. Pedigrees are a mystery. We
Yeah,
have no
so this
information.
person says, we are proud of our commitment to breeding nothing but this pure traditional line. Traditional Cane Corsos are more imposing than their non-traditional counterparts. Due to their impressive musculature, bigger bones, and generally larger frame, typical of most Mastiff breeds. In fact, a strong skeleton is one of the trademarks of the breed. These dogs are the big, athletic linebackers of the canine world, aka perfect guard dog with a loving disposition to boot. Traditional Corsos have long, coarse coats and big white teeth reminiscent of a wolf. Now,
And the Cane
the
Corso is actually the smallest of the mastiffs of the
yeah,
Mastiff
yeah, they
family.
are the smallest of the
We
Mastiffs.
are the small. We are not supposed to be. We are supposed to be. What are the ones that catch the balls and run? The
Yes,
uh, what are those called? Somebody, please. My husband would be like, "Oh my God, she doesn't even know what that
the
person's called."
quarterback.
No, not the quarterback throws the ball.
Oh,
The
you're
one
right.
that
Okay,
catches the ball and runs it in.
girl, I
The
don't know.
running back. We're
Running
the
back.
running back.
Okay,
We're not
yeah,
we're not the linebackers. We are
right.
the running backs.
Yeah. And keep in mind, you guys, I just read you the original standard for the Corso, and it specifically states that it is a fault for the dog to be. Let me find it real quick.
No, the
Um,
receiver. The receiver. Thank you, baby. I see you in there. We are the wide receivers. Oh my
yes.
God.
And it
Yeah,
says
that's
here,
what.
general look as in build faults, stocky, heavy. Okay, so
Yeah.
this person believes in a completely different dog that
Yeah.
that is not a Corso, and yet he believes that this is the true and only Cane Corso. Now let's see him talk about. Let me see here. See, here he goes. Now, on the other hand, are the non-traditional Corsos. Like all American Corsos, the non-traditional Cane Corso bloodlines was also derived from those first few Corsos to arrive in America from Italy, which isn't true.
Yeah.
But that's where the similarities end, which I think is quite remarkable that this person thinks that the only real Corso are even in America.
Yeah,
While
yeah, very, yeah. Well, and he's also he's admitting to a clear division
correct,
that
yes,
what he is breeding, what he is producing, is not the same dog as the
right,
dog
yeah,
in Europe. He
yes.
is letting us know that this is a totally different dog.
Right. And he goes, but that's where the similarities end. While Corso purists were focusing on keeping the future generation as Corso as possible, there were others who thought it best to augment the then shallow Cane Corso gene pool. So it was that non-traditional Corso breeders began incorporating other breeds into their Corso populations, producing litters of mixed genealogy. Great Danes and Boxers were two of the most commonly chosen breeds for this process. As a result of mixing breeding, non-traditional Cane Corsos exhibit a wider variance in physical appearance and temperament than traditional Corsos. Additionally, non-traditional Corsos tend to be taller, skinnier, and more agile than their traditional cousins, though not necessarily more athletic. Think defensive backs as opposed to linebackers. Non-traditional Corsos can be fine dogs, but they're simply that, fine. If you're in the market for a Cane Corso, you don't want to settle for fine. You want to settle for exceptional. Do your research leading up to the adoption and make sure to select a true Cane Corso and not a Cane Corso that's actually an amalgamation. I know I pronounced that wrong, but I know the word, of several unknown dog breeds. Choose a breeder that can back up their pedigree claims, both for your sake and the sake of the continuation of the traditional old Italian Cane Corso bloodline. Bleh. Yeah. So only thing traditionally Italian about those dogs is the name.
Yeah.
And that's the thing
Yeah,
is we know that that's not true. We know it because the DNA has been done on these dogs that shows that they're mostly Rottweiler, with some Neo, very little Corso. Most of them, of all the blood tests that people have sent me, they show to be 20 to 30% Corso. So this is
so it's a mixed breed with the Corso mixed in there.
Yeah,
It's
this is
essentially what it is.
This is complete fiction. Complete fiction. 100% fiction. Clearly a person who's never actually been to Europe, because if they had been, they would know that there's nothing fine bone about, European Corso. They can be, in fact, Reese, I mean, I don't know about you, but I will say that while American Corso can look very imposing, and we're talking, like I said, when I say American Corso, we're talking about what he's talking about, these rustic old lines. Okay, we're not talking about just a Corso bred in America. Most of those dogs are shorter in the body, which, yes, our dogs are taller. European dogs do tend to be taller. And they are wider, but that's like saying that a bully dog is like an XL bully, or not even an XL bully. Let's say like a regular bully or even a micro bully would be more imposing than an English Mastiff. You know what I mean? It's like it's not. They're not more imposing. I don't find short, squat, short, thick dogs to be that impressive personally, and I've all I can say is if you were to look at Batista's arm, he's not a fine bone dog. If you were to look at Mad Mortigan's arm, not a fine bone dog. Mad Mortigan's father, if you were to see him in person, nothing about him is not impressive. You know what I mean? It's like a small pony. They're incredibly.
Say the early start of the dog, what we know historically, I'm not talking about past, beyond that. There were some smaller dogs, right? But now the dogs are they are incredibly larger than what I thought they would be. They are very impressive. No, we're not talking, sure, there's fine bone Cane Corso all over the world.
American and European lines.
Yeah, there are bad dogs all over the world, American and European. I'm not trying to say that what they're doing over there is perfect at a wide range, and what we're doing over here is perfect either. But I will say that the dogs are not small. They are not small. That's a lie. That is not true for 2021.
No.
What we witnessed, even the popular dog Arrogance, that dog was not small.
No. Yeah, he was not small.
No, he was not small. None of the dogs that we seen one dog. It was an older dog. He was around 10 years old. That was like really old line lineage. You really liked him. He was on the smaller side.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is like there are even smaller. If you were to go through the pedigrees, there were smaller American line stuff too. We have been breeding for more size. I think that's true in both Europe and America. So that is the truth. We have been breeding for more size, but especially in relation to purebredness or whatever, the American traditional dogs are far more mixed than the European stuff. They vary in breed type way more than even the Corso do, even like the European Corso do.
Range in temperament, and tight range.
Yeah, exactly. And temperament, let's not even get started on temperament.
Honestly, like even when we were in Italy, they talked about what they call temperament character, because they recognize that there is a variance, and that they do need to start selecting individuals with good character versus weak character. And but over here, the incorrect temperament is widely not recognized.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you look at traditional Corso, they were never, see, people, the reason why that lie works is because they oftentimes will try to confuse or combine the Corso and the Neo. That's where that lie kind of works. But if you believe that the Corso and the Neo were never meant to be the same dog, then you understand why the Neo was the heavy linebacker. That's their linebacker. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Corso's not the linebacker. They're just not. They never were meant to be that.
They're different functions too, right?
Yeah.
Like the Neo's a different functioning dog. They don't even do the same job.
Yes.
Similar.
And so when somebody was asking why Boxer, shake my head. Well, if you'd been listening, you'd know why Boxer. Because the Boxer is actually, if you look back at the original dogs, much closer to the Corso than a Neo is, or even than a Rottweiler is. Because those are heavy, bulky dogs. You decrease working ability putting in those other dogs. Decrease it. The guy even said that the European stuff was more agile. You know what I mean? And it is true. Yeah. They are more agile. And that matters when you are actually breeding a working dog, not a home guardian, not a dog that sits on the porch and barks whenever somebody comes by, or not a dog that you bring out for a weekend or for an afternoon to bite a sleeve and then it sits there panting trying to catch its breath for 30 minutes. We're talking a genuine working dog. You know, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't make any sense. That's why, as we were talking about on a football field, all of those people have their own, you're not having your linebackers running the ball. You know what I mean? So and that's the point, is we believe in different dogs. We believe in different dogs. We have the standard, the original standard, plus all of the historical images of the dogs to go on. They only have some dogs that theoretically came here from Italy that there's no proof of. They have some pictures of some American dogs, and basically this like fantasy, this old wives' tale of a story with their dogs. There is none of that in Europe. There's just history. You have to believe in fantasy to go along with that story in America. You really do. You have to put away, like, you have to basically just take their word for it. In Europe, you don't have to do that. We know what the dogs were. We have pictures of the original dogs. We have the original standard. I mean, they were breeding true from long before they came to America, yet they look nothing like that. I'm sorry, but I have common sense, and anybody that has common sense is going to know that story is bullcrap. And there's like so many breeds that do that. Like I was looking into Borbles, or Burbles, as you want to call it, however you pronounce it, before I got into Corso. And same thing, they had this black Borble, and everybody was like, oh, and they had this same thing, this fantasy story, this really, and it was only like on one breeder's page, and it was this story about where the black, Mastiffs came from, and blah, blah, blah. And I've just kind of learned, like, in the breed, if there's any kind of like special story that only one person or one family knows about and blah, 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 it's bullcrap. It's bullcrap is what it is. It's straight bullcrap. And there's a reason why in the Burble they've started to see blue ones, black and tan ones, blue and tan ones, because what they did is they mixed Corso in. That's what they did. most
Yep.
likely, judging by the look of it, American Corso. And now
Yeah.
they're getting all of the American Corso colors. And, because they allowed that stuff in. And
Yeah.
it just, it's bull crap. It's bull crap. And there's a breed history is known by many people. It's not something that only a select few know about, a select few have their hands on. That's not what creates a breed. A breed takes many people, it takes
Yeah.
generations. It's every breed has a history, and it shouldn't be hard to find. It should be known by many. And and while maybe our breed, if you were to really try to figure out where they actually came from, that would be harder to find. But when it
Yeah.
comes to what we know as the recorded Corso, when we were trying to save the breed and they were collecting the specimens, that
Yeah.
is very highly recorded. We know what they look like. We have pictures of all the dogs. It wasn't that long ago. They don't look like those traditional American Corso. They don't.
I mean, let's just say in theory, what if they look like that 40 years ago? Why would it matter? It's not the dog that the home country wants for the breed.
Yeah, but I mean,
We have to progress
regardless
in the
of
way.
they didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they
Regardless of
didn't.
that, they didn't. You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's my big thing is they didn't look like that.
No,
There's
no,
very clear breed type from, it's like the idea that it was like a mixed breed. Like these people have been mixing their traditional Corso for forever and they can't even get their breed type down.
but
You know
what
what I mean?
gives
Only
them
only
the right? What gives them the right to do what they're doing? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Go
Yeah.
get the origin of the dogs.
I
You
need
know,
to call it the American bear dog
yeah,
because they
yeah,
because they like their bare heads.
yeah, yeah. Like they look like. Well, yeah. That's true, and I just don't understand what gives them the right. Regardless, it's
Yeah,
not
no,
what
yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. It
Italians
is it
want
is
for
an
the dog.
Italian breed,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
not what they want for the dog. So, what gives them the right to decide what needs to be preserved or changed?
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's my whole issue with it. You know, if you
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
that, you need to
Yeah.
start your own breed.
Yeah. And one of the things I think a lot of people miss, which really bothers me, is when people talk about the boxer thing, is when you look at the mixing that was done in the American lines, it's very easy to see the breed influence. I don't just see Rottweiler in the head of the dog. I see it in the rear. I see it in the body. I see it in the front. I see it in the coat. I see it in
Hmm.
the neck. There's it is the whole dog. Okay. A lot of people talk about boxer this, boxer that, but where is the crazy sloping top line with the fine bone rear, with the over exaggerated like crazy rear angulation on those dogs, in the almost like a wasp type chest? You know how they have that super deep chest?
Oh
Where are
yeah,
all of the other
way
breed traits
overdone.
of a boxer? Why is it only the head that comes through? That's
Yeah,
it's lazy thinking. It's dumb.
yeah,
I am just going to say it. It's dumb. It is ridiculous. When you mix two breeds together, you don't just get the head. That's it. You don't. You get a mixing of both
much
dogs,
more.
which is
Yeah,
why when
much
we
more.
look at those Neo dogs, like you can see the Neo in them. So the idea that these European Corso are just boxer, just mostly boxer. Bull crap. Where's the boxer in the body? You know what I mean?
No,
Boxers are
no.
not necessarily, even big boxers aren't like big dogs. You know what I mean? They can
Yeah,
be decently
yeah.
sized, but they're not huge dogs.
Oh yeah, but they're not
So
huge. No.
it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's extremely lazy thinking, and those kinds of things are brought up by people that have the dog that they want, that they like, and most of
Yeah.
them bought their dogs cheap. They bought it off Craigslist, they bought it off whatever, because most of those dogs are actually on the cheaper side. Some of them are held by more expensive breeders. Most of them you'll find on Craigslist,
Oh
and
yeah.
they they get into breeding them and they like them.
They're very common.
Yeah, they're very common. They like them, and they're emotionally attached to it, and so they picked a fight. They picked a side of the war before they even realized that there was a war, and then they just stick with it. You know what I mean? They just stick with it because that's what they have, and that's what they're going to defend. And you're insulting their dog by saying anything less. And it's not our fault that they didn't do their research before buying their dog. You know what I mean? They just you know, if they would have done their research, they would have known that that wasn't a traditional dog. You know what I mean? And
absolutely. It doesn't take much to understand.
No. Yeah.
It didn't take much to realize what the real Cane Corso was. I didn't have to have anybody tell me that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, the name Italian Mastiff, it saes it all. Tells you where the dog is from and what it is.
Exactly.
And so, you know, it's, I don't know. This stuff with these people is ridiculous. And if you care about the breed, please join the club and vote.
Yes.
Vote in the direction you think is in the best interest for our breed.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh God, a YouTuber posted the video Cane Corso puppies for $500. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Of course.
And how much do you want to bet those were traditional American lines? They always are.
Yeah. Oh
yeah, they always are.
Yeah. They're the most common.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, I'm just when you travel to Europe, and this is the biggest thing, because I saw somebody else post about this, and I really agreed with it. When you travel to Europe and you see the whole world breeding for the same dog, except for America, you very quickly realize how arrogant Americans are. That it's like going over there where they developed Parmigiano Reggiano or whatever. Let's just act like I knew what I was saying right there. But you know what I mean. They have a very specific type of Parmesan over there. And let's just say that we decided we were going to make it over here. And just were like, actually, Italy does not have the right Parmesan. We have the right Parmesan. America. In fact, the only real Parmesan Reggiano, or however you say it, is right here in America. It is.
Well, and it's shredded American yellow cheese, and this is
exactly, yeah, and it's made out of processed everything, and it's like nothing like it. Just kind of slightly looks like it. It's the same color.
This is authentic. That's like
it's that bad, and it's when we were over there. I know, at least speaking on my behalf, I was embarrassed by the way that Americans, the arrogance. Right? Because I was embarrassed that I even didn't even know. You know what I mean? Because when you get into the Corso, you got the American people telling you this is what it is. This is what you breed. This is what's going on. These dogs over here are sick. These are boxer mixes. These are small dogs. You don't breed the European stuff. And and you're indoctrinated with all of this information about European lines that is not true, mind you.
Yeah. When you get over there, you realize you are the only one.
Yeah. Yes. It's like being in a cult, and then you get out of the cult, and you're like, "Wow, I didn't even realize I was in a cult. Like everybody else is normal." It's like that, girl. Dead serious. It's like that.
It was like that. We are gonna make it to go over as often as we can, so we know what's going on with our beloved breed. And I used to live over there, and I absolutely love the culture and the people. And now to have a reason to go back for a breed that I love, it's special. And I can't wait to go back to drink orange Fanta.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
That's what I think of. That's I haven't had one.
Girl, you know me. I'm looking forward to the potatoes and the tomatoes, because that right there, girl, you knew me. I was like, it's like, Reese, these tomatoes, they taste so good, and why does their water taste so good?
She's eating the potatoes. I'm like, girl, I just want a Fanta. And Christina had Fanta.
Yeah. Their food is like so much better. It's ridiculous. It's so much better.
Oh gosh, the fish. I just can't wait to get back to see the people. And I have breeder who I have to talk to. I got a bone to pick with him.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think we need to go back for that specifically.
Yeah. But y'all can always count on us to do whatever the fuck we want to do.
We want
as the Hodge twins would say. and the original thirst
the way
traps.
this night is
And
going, girl, let it fly. Just let her own fly. Just let her fly, girl.
Seriously. And literally, that's what we're gonna do. We will try to speak up. We will try to help other people, but we are gonna do what we want to do, what we believe is right, and we're gonna keep doing that. And we're gonna keep going over to Europe, and we're gonna keep trying to participate and make way for other people to recognize that is the path to success. Don't believe in the bullying and the cultish behavior of these traditional American Connie Corso breeders.
They just need to, people, or the man that wrote that bullshit article. If you are listening, please just name your dog the American Bear Dog.
Yeah. Girl, can you believe that they tried to say that didn't the original standards say that they were supposed to look like bears? because Italy is just so overrun with grizzly bears. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many bears over there. They wanted the dogs to look like the traditional Italian bear.
Girl, I've seen them say that. I've seen them compliment their dogs for the bearish.
Yes, girl. Yes, they try to make them look like bears. Yes,
and I can't even believe this shit. We supposed to be looking like mystical creatures, and we are looking like bears.
Ugly, girl, ugly. Like a half-starved grizzly bear that doesn't have his full coat yet. Just
oh god, we gotta stop.
Well, you know.
They're gonna be on Facebook.
Oh yeah. They hate American lines. They hate nothing but American lines. Yeah.
Gosh, it's always great to come on and cut up and talk, and you're doing good when they come out of everywhere from the crypts and go on.
And it's important to say both of us have American stuff in our lines. So
we do.
We are not anti-American lines, okay? We are anti people that only believe in the traditional American Corso, that refuse to breed dogs that fit the standard, right? I read it to you guys. They are describing a different dog. They believe in they believe they're two different breeds, and to be honest with you, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
There are, and not in a non-historical way.
Yeah. In a non-historical, selfish, self-righteous way. Shoot.
My interest is for the Italian dog, for the true Cane Corso. Anything else other than that, I have no interest. And I just want for them to do their own thing and divide out if they cannot agree with the original dog, which is the Italian Mastiff. If you don't believe in that, fine.
Exactly.
But go your own way, do your own thing, and
exactly.
I would support that. I would totally support that. Not point people into the right direction that have the same interests.
Yes, because you can make it. There's a guy I showed Reese. There's a guy I have a lot of respect for him. He used to breed purebred Cane Corso. Every now and then he'll do a breeding to maintain his line because he still has his line. But he got tired of all the mess and all the hubbub, and he just decided to openly and honestly breed dogs that he likes. And so his dogs have a very strong, thick Corso base to them, but he mixes other stuff in. And his dogs look very similar to a lot of American Corso. I will even say like the better stuff, like the more refined stuff, not the
honest about
big
what
furry
they
bear
are.
dogs.
Yeah, but he's honest about what they are.
Yeah, and he makes his money and he's very popular. People love him. He has gorgeous dogs. You know what I mean? And people love him. And he's breeding the dog he wants, you know? He's got big, oversized, solid black Corso looking dogs that everybody loves. Whereas another breeder that I saw, which clearly looks like an English Mastiff mix if you look at it from the eyes up, has a 205-pound Corso, black Corso, that's 33 inches tall at the withers. And it's like, okay. Like, people that want to believe that that's a purebred dog, you're welcome to take that denial tea all you want, but I'm not drinking it. I know better than that. And so, yeah, and I said it. I see you. I said it. I said it, girl. I went there. I did it. I spilled that tea.
She said it.
And I'm good with it. And I'm gonna sit with it, okay? And I'm not taking it back. And I meant it.
All right.
And I meant it. I went there, dang it. And,
no,
I don't believe it. And if you're watching this, I don't believe it. You tell that to somebody else that don't know no better. I don't believe it. Shoot, that ain't no Corso.
Oh gosh.
I don't believe it.
We are in so
that
much
tea,
trouble
okay?
tomorrow.
Don't
We're
believe
in
it.
trouble. We are in
Tell
trouble.
that lie to somebody else. I said it. I seen it.
Girl, tomorrow we're gonna be in timeout. We're gonna be on timeout.
Rachel's in trouble again, everybody. I said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Well,
I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. I'm supposed to just look at that stuff and keep my mouth shut and not say nothing and just accept it. But y'all know me, I can't do that.
Girl, you just say, they want you to say yes to master.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's exactly what they want me to say. I ain't saying it. You can hate me all you want. Exactly. I spilled that tea. And only those that are in the know will even know because ain't nobody advertising that dog. But I spilt it because I seen it.
She seen it with her own 2 eyes. Get back. Oh my God, we're gonna be in trouble.
For real, could you imagine, girl? Could you imagine? Like, come on. Like, could you imagine if I tried to pull that? Here's my 205-pound, 33-inch Corso, okay? I would get eaten alive, okay? I would get eaten alive. Rachel done did it now.
She did it now. She's got to put it back there. And I promise you, it's got seizures.
Yeah. It's got epilepsy. And hip dysplasia. I saw it lipping.
It can't just be big. It's gonna have something wrong with it too.
Oh my God, girl! Yes, this is they always do.
About Nirvana being crippled in the ring. I ain't
girl,
never.
Yes. Yep. I saw it. I saw it lipping, and then it fell over and it started seizing. I swear on it.
Right there in the ring, and then they asked the
and it tried to bite the judge.
Oh yeah, they'll even try to convince the person handling the dog it happened.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
You were turning that corner, that damn dog flopped over, and it was a kicking,
yeah.
and then it got up and it was limping.
And she took it off, and it was still twitching. I saw it. It was still twitching. Oh my God.
It's just too much all the time. I tell you, I'm so damn tired of these people. I'm tired of these people.
Girl, I'm telling you, like, for real. Like, let's just be real. You know what I mean? Like, good Lord. You know what I'm saying? Good Lord. What are they going to come up with next, girl? I ain't even surprised, girl. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it's going to come up with next.
Yeah, exactly.
You bring a horse to a deer. I seen the antler. It's always God.
She don't mix lying into it. Yeah.
It's always, we need to go before we get more.
Yeah, we need to go, y'all. We need to go.
But we will. We're gonna read.
I'm gonna leave y'all on that hot, steamy cup of tea. that hot, steamy cup of spearmint tea. It's going to leave some minty freshness in your mouth because it's nice and fresh and clean. Because the truth is always fresh and clean.
Well, girl, you need to tell me what it is because I'm ready for it.
Girl, you already know. You already know. We talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it. But,
they had the audacity to post a picture. You leave that Goliath in your backyard, Mama. You don't go out there and post that stuff because I'm gonna call you out on it.
Oh,
as that man said, Jesus gonna have that butthole burning.
Oh my God! Oh my God, girl! This butthole's gonna be burning.
It's gonna be burning. You gonna have flames out that butthole because you be lying. You lying. Them lies catching up to you, and Jesus gonna burn that butthole.
Oh my God, we gotta go. Guys, we're gonna reschedule that live stream with Jimmy. It was fun hanging out with you guys, and I guess we'll see you next weekend.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Flames.
Bye.